welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing a Vintage Cube draft. I said in the last one that it would be the last one I did for this run, but I lied. Turns out Vintage Cube is just awesome, and the last draft I did, the matches were so fast that I could queue right back up and still have time in my day. This pack, I like Solitude a lot. Fourth Aerolingus is the type of thing that can turn around a losing game for you. It can hammer closed a winning game for you. There's no power in this pack. There's like one of the worst of the reanimate spells. Skull Clamp is pretty cool, but none of this really hangs with the fourth Aerolingus. True Name Nemesis, Shelldock Isle, oh, an early Tinker. You know I can't resist. Yeah, True Name Nemesis is like just a solid card. Ugin is a cool top end. There's some techie blue lands in here. Creeping Tar Pit, Vinestalk, 2 creature lands, and Shelldock Isle, which I like. But getting Tinker this early where you can draft around it, I'm interested. Underworld Breach. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Underworld Breach. I've talked about this in drafts in the past. Frequently, cards like Brain Freeze and Thassa's Oracle will go around because they're not that important if you don't have the core piece. But the core piece itself, like Underworld Breach, you could just like cast this and cast Ponder 3 times and it's still probably been a pretty good card for you. You don't have to go nuts with it. I'm definitely taking Breach, getting it this early. The Arid Mesa is probably my secondary pick in this pack, and Jace Wielder being here, that is something that could be a win con with Breach if I end up needing one. Brazen Borrower. Inti. I like Inti. I like Brazen Borrower more. Sunken Ruins fixes into colors I'm not. I'm currently looking at Jeskai spread cards. That doesn't mean that's what I'm going to be doing this draft, but it is here. There's a Bolus the Citadel to go with my Tinker. What if I Bolus the Citadel into a Breach win? Oh, that would be sweet. I think there's a good chance I'll wheel the Citadel, and Brazen Borrower is going to make my deck regardless, so I'm going to take this one now. Candelabra, Balance, Kaito. Man, I've been getting Shift Balance in every single draft I've done this round of the Vintage Cube on Magic Online. I have been given the option to take Balance, and Balance dovetails well with Artifact Mana, which also dovetails well with Tinker. It also goes in control decks. It goes in combo decks. Any deck that's not going to have a bunch of creatures in play generally will benefit from Balance. The alternative here for me is probably Candelabra of Tonos. Yeah, I'll take Balance. Lelia, Steam Vents, Gush, Pest Infestation. Pest Infestation is a whole extra color. I think I want to get working on supporting the colors in my deck with the Steam Vents here. Prismatic Ending, nice, solid, reliable removal spell. Lelia is a cool, powerful thing, but I'm trying to be more on the combo spectrum here, if I can help it. Not quite on the high tide level of combo spectrum. Staff of the Storyteller is an artifact for Tinker. Chandra is just a good way to spend red mana. Lava Spur Boots you could play in any deck, technically. I think I want Chandra here. Yeah, she's just like a cool way to spend mana. Mox Opal. Ancient Tomb, City of Traders. Holy smokes. Mox Opal. It's not on yet, but I am incentivized to take artifacts because of Tinker, and getting this incentivization this early. I mean, Ancient Tomb is just like already extra mana. Legion Extruder is a red removal spell that works with Tinker as well, and this pack is pretty good for me. It's Ancient Tomb or Mox Opal for me. I think I'm going to go Ancient Tomb. Tundra on the wheel. Brainstorm, Thieving Skydiver, Sink into Stupor. Even Fear of Missing Out, like that could enable some Breach stuff. I'm going to take the Tundra though. Let's have good mana. Shadow Spear, Phantasmal Image, Seachrome Coast. Again, let's make this mana work. I don't think I want something as benign as Shadow Spear floating around just in case I tinker it away. Nexus of Becoming. That's something you could tinker into. Lion Sash is also... Yeah, I don't think I want Screaming Nemesis or Lion Sash. I'll start grabbing tinker things. Alright, I did not wheel the Bolus the Citadel, but I do have an Elspeth here. It might just end up being Planeswalker Stompy with a Tinker in there. That wouldn't be too embarrassing. I have Ancient Tomb to crank these things out. Balance frequently works well with Planeswalkers. Mox Pearl is an on-color Mox. Lotus Petal works with Underworld Breach. I don't think I am going to turn down... Maybe if I already had the Brain Freeze, I would consider Lotus Petal for completion's sake, but Tinker, Balance, just playing Magic the Gathering in general, all benefit from having Mox Pearl. Cards in this pack I'd like to get back. Occult Epiphany, Remand. I'm not going to see this Ocelot Pride again, but I would take it. Burst Lightning's probably fine. Alright, Mox Pearl's in the deck. Path to Exile, Celestial Colonnade, Flash Probe, Loran. Flash can do some cool dovetail stuff with Tinker if I get things like Triplicate Titan that could pay off either plan. Blue-White Duel, but those were wheeling. I caught Tundra on the wheel. Who's going to take Celestial Colonnade? Gitaxian Probe, pretty good with Underworld Breach. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, just like a good way to spend mana, and now that I have Pearl and Tomb, getting it out faster, it can fuel Breach with the discard. I like the Probe, I like the Path, but I am going to take Fable. Upheaval. Am I going 3 for 3? Oh, here's a crazy late Orcish Bowmaster. Do I veer into splashing that, or do I take this Quarry Steel Cutter? Am I casting 2 spells in a turn? Do I even want something like Quarry Steel Cutter around? Chromatic Star is a breachable cantrip. Mystical Tutor is another Tinker, but I'm not really using the one I have yet. Upheaval is cool, but I've drafted it twice already out of my 2 outings in this cube. I don't really want to go there again. I think I'm going to take this Bowmaster and think about it. It's just the best card in the pack by a mile. Securitron Squadron. 2/2 Vig. Whenever a creature enters, put a +1 counter on it, and it has Squad 3. This is a way you could spend a ton of mana to get a bunch of creatures of rapidly expanding size. Stoneforge Mystic is like a solid Jeskai thing. I think it's Library. Library will make my deck. It's a land. It'll go in. Stock Up, though. Stock Up's really good, especially if I'm trying to get a combo together. Sorry, Library of Alexandria. I'm going to play the new card. I'm going to take Stock Up. Through the Breach, Narset. Not really going through the Breach. Gut is a sicko. Gut is a way that I can use my random artifacts that I'm not tinkering away. Narset plays with Orcish Bowmaster. If I find a wheel, there's a memory jar right here, but that's not the type of wheel I'm looking for. Narset can also dig for combo cards. Gut plays well with Fable. Do I want to be moderately aggressive, like mid-range Jeskai, or do I want to be a combo deck that can do other stuff? I think I am going to take the Gut. This is just what the packs are handing me. Gotta believe in the cleave, as they say. There's an on-color Talisman, which gets me into my 4s and 5s faster. It's material for Gut, it's material for Tinker. I've just never been impressed with Trumpeting Carnosaur, even though it reads really well to me. Scrubland. That lets me cast Bowmaster. Displacer Kitten goes off with Mightstone. Bonecrusher Giant, just rock solid 2 for 1 all day. I think I'm going to take the Scrubland and try to enable this Bowmaster. Grim Monolith. Very late. Ponder, though. Ponder's here. My deck's a little messy and trying to do a couple different things. I think something like Ponder is where I need to be over Grim Monolith. And I'm not really using Golos in any interesting way. Right, Ponder's in. Wield Occult Epiphany and Burst Lightning as predicted. I'll take the Epiphany. That can fuel and dig for Breach at the same time. You're in there. Chainsaw on the wheel. Now that I have Gut, this is much more interesting. My deck's a lot redder than the last time I saw this card. 3 PI is pretty cool. That makes Balance shitty. I don't think I need a tap dual land more than I need a removal spell with a bunch of extra synergy. Mystical Tutor can get 4th Angus or Tinker. This Chromatic Star is back. That's another way to cast Bowmaster. It's a card that works with Breach. I'm going to take the Star. Zuranor Pyrokinesis. I don't think I'm playing any of these cards, but I'll put the Pyrokinesis in my sideboard just in case. Memory Jar on the wheel. I don't think I'm using it, but I'll take it. I'm definitely not playing Rafine, so I'll put Turnabout in my sideboard and Copperlight Gorge to the sideboard. All right, deck's a little messy. You need some help here. How about an Ancestral Recall? There's also a Mox Emerald in the pack. But Ancestral Recall, remember when I said there are cards that are worth casting with Underworld Breach that even if you're not comboing, this card is worth having around and playing in your deck? Ancestral Recall is one of them. Just draw 6 past the turn. That was a good use of a Breach. Storm Chaser's Challenge, Volcanic Island, both cards my deck would like. Seasoned Pyromancer, maybe. All right, Mox Emerald. Someone's going to have a good day. Lose Focus, Fairy Mastermind. Goldspan Dragon. I don't have any counter spells yet, and not losing is frequently pretty important. In Vintage Cube, decks are powerful. I'm going to take Lose Focus here. Dracosaur is exciting top end. There's the Cauldron to go with the Stoneforge I didn't take, but that's okay. Chrome Mox. Usually pretty happy to have that one in a deck. I guess I want Chrome Mox. Like, No More Lies has the same upside as Lose Focus. It's harder to cast, though. Oh, a Johnny. Do I want a Johnny? Am I in a Johnny gamer? I think ramping out one of these value things, the Fable that got the Planeswalkers, is worth the Chrome Mox. I even have stock up in Ancestral to recoup the card disadvantage. Fury, I like a lot. That's a win condition. You can just cast that thing. Stern Scolding, Siren, Relic, Sacred Foundry. Yeah, it's Fury for me. This deck is not where I thought it would be, but it is somewhere. Oh, Frantic Search. Hold on. Frantic Search with Ancient Tomb and Underworld Breach can go extremely deep into the deck. I mean, Snapcaster is a Ponder, Lose Focus, Ancestral Recall, Snap Balance, Snap Tinker. These are all things I've done. And Frantic Search to have some combo lines, or Snapcaster Mage just make my deck better. I think I just want my deck to be better. Again, if I had the Brain Freeze already, I would be thinking differently, but I don't have that, so it's just sort of putting cards in my deck. Generous Plunderer does damage pretty well. Monastery Mentor, I think I'm good on 3s. Bleachbone Verge is another scrub land that could get this Bowmaster into the deck. But Generous Plunderer makes treasures, that also gets Bowmaster in. Eagle's Tutor Scrubland. I'm taking the Plunderer. Blightsteel Colossus, alright. I think this is literally the last fresh pick. No, there's one more pack I haven't seen after this, and finally found something worth tinkering into. Alright, I'm going to take Blightsteel. Shorikai. Manamorphose. Oh my goodness. Right, Unholy Heat, just a reasonable removal spell. Manamorphose, something that can shred a little bit with Breach. Bauble shreds a little bit with Breach, and is an artifact for things that care about that. Shorikai is just a draw engine that's also an artifact for the things that care about that. I'm going to go there. Volcanic Island on the wheel. All right, I think making my mana good is how I want to spend this pick, even though... Oh, shit. This portal did not even register to me. Oh, because this pack had Ancestral Recall and Mox Emerald in it, but Portal to Phyrexia is also a great tinker payoff. But blue-red is my core color. All right, I'm going to have to give up on Portal. My mana's just not where it needs to be to play the game. Sunbillow Verge. I think that's better than Goldspan Dragon. I have enough playables. Dracosaur versus Cryptic. With Snapcaster Mage, I'm pretty into Cryptic Command. Dracosaur is the type of thing you can ramp into and just make a problem for your opponent. All right, I'm taking that. I don't think this Memory Jar is going to be in the deck. I'm not convinced on Orcish Bowmaster yet either. Sacred Foundry Wield. We are big Boros with some blue cards to distract. All right, here is a white card that I'm not going to play, but it's more likely to be boarded in than those other two things. I don't need this Nexus of Becoming anymore now that I have a Blightsteel. Monastery Mentor and Ferris Rockrick. Ferris only triggers off one card in my deck. Yeah, Mentor. And Reclaimer to the sideboard. Okay, 28 cards, 27 if we don't count Mox Pearl. I love Mentor, but it's pretty mid. And sorting by color, I am an Izzet deck with some white pips. And this random Bowmaster that may or may not get played. Okay, so Bowmaster, if we put that over there, that means I'm also not playing this Scrubland. And probably not playing Chromatic Star. So these three are packaged together. And this is just a deck. That's 24 cards. If I bring my lands back in, add some basics. Is it magic cards with Balance and Tinker that could flip things around? Fourth Aerolingus, High Roll, Ancestral Recall, and Mox Pearl. I don't need a lot of planes. I have Mox Pearl and 1, 2, 3, 4 white duels for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white pips in my whole deck. My deck is almost all spells. I love that. When I sort the creatures out, there's like 6 of them. Is Elspeth good enough? Like, she's fine, but in many ways she's worse than Jeskai at doing the same thing. And she's the only double white card in my deck. If I get one more land here, there are 2, 5, 7 red sources. There are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue sources. 6 white. And 6 is a lot of white sources. Just almost comped. These are just mountains that could splash. I definitely don't need more white sources. I have a bunch of double reds like Chandra, Dracosaur, Fury. Oh, there's talismans in my deck too. So I have 15 lands plus Mox Pearl, which plays as well as a land in most situations. One of my lands taps for 2, and then I have 2 additional things. Can I get a spell in here? Maybe the Chromatic Star actually just bridges the gap perfectly. That is a cantrip that also is a mana fixer object and helps with Tinker. If I'm not quite sure if I want another land or another spell, Chromatic Star does a good job being a little bit of each. Okay, I think this is the deck. Is it mid-range beaters with Tinker and Balance as Vintage Cube shit I can do? Let's do it. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 1. I'll keep. I have a turn 2 Plunderer that can do some stuff. I have a removal spell. I got all my colors. Just ready for Ancestral Recall. I have both Snapcaster and Breach to send it another whirl around the sun. Maybe I'm supposed to lead on Island there, just in case I get Strip Mined, and I also get to bluff Spell Pierce. Whatever. But on the flip side, they may ponder looking for answers to aggressive red threats when I'm a little more controlling than that. Though awkwardly, this hand does play an aggressive red threat on turn 2. Okay, big plunders. Polluted Delta. Look at my opponent over there playing Constructed. Ponder, Polluted Delta. Okay, Watery Grave. It's not a constructed deck anymore. Caustic Bronco. Don't mind if I do. I'll cook that shit. And I will give them the treasure. I like doing the extra damage. I like getting the ramp. And that's why we like ramping. Now I can save my Chainsaw and get Chandra, or I can Chandra plus play Chainsaw. Holy smokes. Chandra. Buzz buzz. It's always so terrifying and demoralizing when your opponent plays a Chandra and pluses for mana. Of all the dumb shit this card can do, it's like, oh, you have another spell? Great. Alright, take 3. Your turn. There are 14 already from the Fetch Shock attack. I have a card advantage engine and damage engine that they have to worry about here, and I'm also dealing damage and ramping over here. And Generous Plunderer deals extra damage for each artifact my opponent controls, so if they have something like Coalition Relic or a Talisman or even a Mox, that's could be as much a liability as anything here. They said no, thank you. Okay, we're playing against blue-black with a Caustic Bronco, and we don't know anything else. Well, cards that could reasonably be sideboarded in that may or may not matter. I did end up playing the Chromatic Star, even without the Bowmaster, so Scrubland Bowmaster is a package I could bring in, if it feels appropriate. Descendant of Storms, if I want to get low. This is just another Savannah Lions with upside. They've been printing a lot of these in recent years. This trading with a Caustic Bronco or similar is actually pretty gnarly. Elspeth is a great way to spend mana. I don't know. I don't think I know enough about their deck to make massive structural changes yet. I'm just gonna submit my deck again. Oh no. Together at last. I'm still gonna keep, because I have a turn 2 stock up that could set up all manner of things. If I get to hand size, which is right on target, actually. I'm on the draw with a stock up. I could discard the Blightsteel, or... Oh, I actually think I should not play that for the reason I just described. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to Chromatic Star. Or I could have set up turn 2 Fable. That's probably better. All right, I blew it. Yeah, if I had filtered Chromatic Star into red, played Fable the Mirror Breaker, that also gets rid of my Blightsteel, but in a way that is less embarrassing. Okay, stock up. I still have access to Blightsteel next turn. Brazen Borrower is great, and Snapcaster Mage, not doing a lot here. Ponder or Snapcaster. I guess I'll take Ponder. All right, those can go to the bottom. They're going to be shuffled anyway. Discard Blightsteel. And now I can Tinker. Yeah, it was definitely better to play Fable, though. That was sloppy as hell. My brain did not quickly enough process all of the information that Chromatic Star implies. Narset, okay. That card's pretty good. Thopter Foundry, all right. Redrew Underworld Breach. So I don't get to draw a card when Star dies anymore. Ponder sucks real bad. Chapter 2 of Fable doesn't do anything. I'm just going to shove Tinker and see what happens. Okay, resolved. Mightstone does not kill this. Shorekai doesn't matter. Yeah, Blightsteel, let's go. They could bounce it or make me sack it. Otherwise, I'm coming for you. Minus Narset. Recurring Nightmare, exciting. Okay. With Psychic Frog, lots of things could happen here. But I do know that at least 1/3 of their hand does not kill Blightsteel Colossus. All right, jump in the Frog. Gotta do what you gotta do. Blightsteel Colossus, although it is as tall as the sky, does not actually have reach. I want a Flavor Judge ruling. Oh, you've got a Mana Crypt. Terrifying. Concealing Curtains. If they have a bomb-ass creature in their hand, they've got options here. I'm going to lose Brazen Borrower. That's the only card in my hand that matters at all right now. Okay, they used all their black mana to get to this point, so I'm not getting nightmared. Yeah, I guess I'll just tee off. Oh, drawing a counterspell is so busted. I'm just going to tee off on their life total. Or their face total, their poison total. Forget about Narset. Okay, they take 7 poison trample. I pass with the ability to counterspell unless they pay 4. And they have 2 cards in their hand I don't care about. Out of 5, that's about to become 6. Lifelink doesn't matter. They need to remove this thing or put 8 toughness in front of it. No, 9 toughness. Wow. This thing's so big. 11/11 is a preposterous stat line. Thopter Foundry's in. That's not enough blocking. Karn Scion. Let's counter that. That might be enough blocking. I don't think it is, but why do math when I can just tap my cards instead? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tinker for Blightsteel. Sloppy, not good use of the Chromatic Star, but ended up being enough anyway. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 2. Tinker and Blightsteel once again, just married to each other in my hand. I'm going to mulligan this hand. Just my 5 drops, my Tinker can't pay off like this. Ooh, okay, turn 1 Generous Plunderer. I think I'm going to keep this and bottom Snapcaster. I'm probably going to pitch Dracosaur. You can't pitch Chainsaw because Chromox says specifically non-artifact on it. It comes from a time before artifacts had color. We'll keep and... yeah, I'm going to bottom Snapcaster and pitch Dracosaur. Dracosaur's under there. Plunderer, get in. That makes mana. Attacks for damage. We're going full tempo. All right, I didn't get Fatal Pushed. I have a treasure. Cult Epiphany. That's a way to spend mana. I have a counterspell and a loot in my hand. Not loot the Pathfinder, but looting cards. Chainsaw kills that. I'm not going to fudge with it. Caustic Bronco, popular choice in this league. The cool thing about the treasures is I can Chainsaw and still have a counterspell up. Okay, my creature has Menace. I'll attack first. They could sack their treasure to take 1 less damage, They did not do that. Buzz, buzz. Leaving up the counterspell is better than equipping the chainsaw here. It's just 1 extra damage. Static Prison. Okay, I mean, there's a limited amount of energy. So that's over there. They have 2 energy. I could counter other energy sources. All right, I don't think I'm going to fight over Lingering Souls. Do need to find something to do, though. I could Epiphany in my main phase. Yeah, I'll just Epiphany for 2. Discard Blightsteel and Sacred Foundry. This will give me 3 spirits, because land, artifact, and creature are being discarded. And then Steam Vents. I am not going to pay 2 life. In this token-on-token warfare, this chainsaw might go crazy. Okay, block. See if we can get this chainsaw revving. Oh, it's 1 or more creatures die. Boring. Why is it templated like that? This should have 5 on it. Yeah, it's 1 or more. A combat trade like that doesn't work. Okay, first time I've ever actually cared about the text on that card. Jeskai. That card's got text. Okay, it's in there. The Mighty Engine. They're now out of energy. They need to find a Guide of Souls. I think that's the only thing that produces... Or Ampteraptor is in the format, but we don't see red mana, except the red I gave them. Just attacking with 1. All right. I still believe myself to be the control deck here, despite... They got Luris. I hope they cast it right now. Just tap out. What could go wrong? Ocelot Pride. Okay, that doesn't generate energy. It does generate cats. Ancient Tomb. Okay, it makes a 1/1. I will activate Jeskai now. There we go. Ancient Tomb discarded. Play my land. I think I'm just going to pass, because I get Generous Plunderer back in their upkeep, unless they have Containment Priest. Okay, so that's big enough to tangle with Ocelot Pride. I have enough mana here to counter Luris. But I do have to replicate quite a lot. 1, 2, that's 2, pay 4, pay 6. We did it. Cast with Replicate. Replicated 2 times. Okay, 3 cards left in their hand. I got my big shit going. If they have a Reanimate, they're in pretty good shape. Ooh, the Squadron. Oh, that gives them the City's Blessing. Whenever a creature token you control enters, put a +1 counter on it. Okay, I mean, that's pretty cool, but we're over the line here. This is an artifact creature, so that's extra damage from Plunderer. Yeah, I'll keep dumping treasures over there. Talisman of Creativity. All right, I'm going to activate Jeskai. I don't need this talisman. We'll see what else happens. Mightstone is exciting. Mightstone and Weakstone. I could Chandra into this if I'm willing to completely tap out. What am I worried about? I don't even know if Mana Tithe is in the cube right now. Reprieve is, but or they do have 2 mana up. I'm going to plus Chandra for mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mightstone. I'm going to kill Ocelot Pride. I think that's the one I'm most worried about here. Chainsaw revs up. And guess what else? Equip Chainsaw. Bang. Power Stone mana. Cookin'. Cookin'! Alright, this is a 6/2 that will deal 3 to them when it attacks. Oh no, did I overcommit? I did. Oh, I get to draw a card though. Deal. Got True Soul Zealot. Oh yeah. That's pretty good with Jeskai. Endless Stream of Homies. Fractured Identity, my Chandra. Alright. Powerful play. I don't know if that's enough, but it's definitely top end of plays they could make. They flipped an island, so I go to 18 here. Mox Emerald. Okay, they're hellbent. Let's go. Jeskai is crew 8. And this thing has Vig. 8's a lot, but a Spooky Skeleton will get there pretty quickly. Fable, wow. Alright, good cards all around. These crew as 4. I could crew Jeskai this turn, but I think I'd rather just draw cards. I can use Mightstone for this. Alright, draw 2. Discard Tundra. Have you ever been hellbent in a close game and your opponent draws Ancestral Recall? Because that's my opponent's life right now. It's a filthy life. It's not a good one. And we've got 1, 2, 3. Mox Pearl comes out. Cast Gut with this. And then 1. I could make life worse for them with the Chainsaw. Or I could play Fable. I think I should be playing Fable here. Okay, here's Fable. And I'm going to attack Chandra with 2 pilots and a Spooky Skeleton. I could sacrifice Mox Pearl or one of the pilots here. I don't think I need this Mox Pearl. All right, Spooky Skeleton attacking Chandra. So they will lose their spirit token and Chandra goes to 1. Or they will lose all their creatures and Chandra goes to 3. Or they could just let Chandra die. Okay. Chandra's at 1, the Chainsaw revs. As long as Chandra can't pick off my gut, I think we're in good shape. They flip Nethergoyf off of Chandra. So there's that, 4/5, pretty big. Still have a card in their hand. 16 cards left in my deck. Draw for turn. Snapcaster, Ancestral Recall, that's a play. I'm going to activate Jeskai in response to this ability. Discard Mountain, and now I can loot away 2 lands I don't care about. 11 cards left in my deck. Tinker and Blightsteel, best friends forever. What's left to Tinker for even in my deck? Nothing. I could Tinker for Chromatic Star. Okay. Well, that's awkward. But it's fine. Gut is running amok here. And Snapcaster could target a Cult Epiphany and get the Blightsteel back in my deck, or it could target Lose Focus to make sure I don't lose the game. I think that's how I want to do this. 1, 2, 3. Chainsaw on the Menace creature. And then I will attack with everything. Gut doesn't have to attack here. This is 9. And then there's going to be 13 from the other Spooky Skeleton. I think they're going to be too busy dealing with my skeletons to worry about anything else. Make the treasure first so I can sack that to Gut. Okay, bang. Big beats. Containment Priest. They actually do have Containment Priest. That was a card I just randomly said they might have. Okay, that's fine. If they block with that, then Fable actually comes in. Containment Priest does stop Fable from flipping. Well, it flips and then dies. That doesn't really stop it from flipping. Okay, so Gut's going to lose here. Opponent is going to take a bunch of damage. The Chainsaw revs. I've got blockers. I've got Snap Epiphany or Snap Counterspell or Snap Ancestral. They flipped Shadowy Backstreet, so I go to 14. Can't play that one. Intrepid Adversary. That's actually really big. They can pay blue-white any number of times. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each Valor counter on this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I will tax this with Snapcaster. Okay, sweet, they're done. Occult Epiphany making some spirits that could fly and hold the chainsaw also would have worked there. Okay, Luris, we're low to the ground. They have Fractured Identity. That is spooky versus my big awesome things, including Blightsteel. Do I want the Bowmaster package in? It's just really not good. If I had one fetch land that could incidentally grab the scrub land, I think I'd be more interested, but just having 2 sources for this card, or 3 because I have the Plunderer. All right. Plunderer might talk me into it. But what card do I think is bad here? In Underworld Breach is probably the weakest card on its own. That's like a mid-game thing. Balance is pretty good. I forgot I even had Balance in the deck. It's been a minute since I looked at that one. So I can cut Plains and Breach, bring in Bowmaster and Scrubland. Yeah, I'll try this. Pyrokinesis might be good against their deck too, but I already have Fury in, and that one has stats. All right, this is what I'm doing. Okay, this is a turn 2 Fable. I'll keep. Opponent mulled to 6. Balance. Oh, that's interesting if all of my mana comes out of artifacts. Or I could play Talisman of Creativity right now, pitching the balance. I think I'm going to play Seachrome Coast and just pass the turn. Just getting a land off of a balance here would be so nice. Okay, they didn't play a creature. If they're not playing into the balance, I'm not going to try to set up. I'm not going to play in a way that's super weird. All right, good, just good deck building. Fable discarding the Blightsteel. That is literally always in my hand. Okay, Chrome Mox. Do I exile Epiphany or Balance here? I think it's Balance. All right. And Fable. If they've played a creature here, I would have just played Chrome Mox, use Balance, kill the creature, kill a land. Containment Priest. Okay, that will eventually be good versus Fable. It's good versus Tinker. But I got some good stuff going on here. They mulliganed, and I accelerated my mana, so we are card equal, and I'm up mana, even though they were on the play. All right, here's that Squadron thing. 2/2 Vig. Loot, yes. I'll discard, obviously, Blightsteel, and I guess Basic Island. Chandra, Torch of Defiance. I like that. And I can get it into play this turn. Okay, Goblin attack. They'll probably trade their Security Squadron for it. Cool. Damage is done, and I can work the Talisman in here. Little just extra pip, unless I think it's more important to keep the Talisman in hand for Epiphany. Yeah, I actually am gonna be a believer in that. Chandra, kill the Containment Priest. That lets Fable flip next turn. And I have an artifact in the bank to Epiphany away. They're a mana shy of their Fractured Identity right now. Children's Edict, sure. All right, 2 for 1. We take them. Ancient Tomb. I'm just going to draw 2 cards off Mightstone. Draw 2 cards. That's the thing this card does. And I can cast Talisman with this, which sets up Tinker. A mana short of doing it this turn. That would have been sweet. If I had played out the Talisman earlier, I would have been able to Tinker this turn. Or no, because the Mightstone doesn't cast Tinker. Maybe that's not even true. Oh, Jack and their rabbit. This is a pretty big rabbit. Blightsteel is not legendary. Oh my god. All right, well. Or I think I care about this white Chrome Mox less than I do about the blue-red Talisman. Okay, Tinker. Sack Chrome Mox. Get Blightsteel. Ancestral myself. Brazen Borrower. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bounce your rabbit. Copy my Blightsteel. Ka-chow! Wowie zowie. That came together quickly. On to the next round. Cube is awesome.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with The Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
I'm on the draw in round 3. Once again, Blightsteel Colossus in my hand. Keeping this trophy on the line. We are 4-0 or 2-0-4-0 right now. By the way, here's my call to action. If you like Cube content, comment on this video. Like this video. Share it with your friends who also like Cube content. That's how you get more of it. Because YouTube thinks that you don't like Cube content. Because it doesn't show it to you when I release it. Even though Cube is dope. Alright, I went for the Plunderer first. Getting on board seems like the place to be. I have a Cult Epiphany, which now can turn Blightsteel into 2 spirits. And get it out of my hand. Oh, the Mutt. Let's go. This might be Reanimator. Grabomination in the bin. Alright, so I'm probably just going to be holding up a counterspell next turn. Do I want to give them... Yeah, I guess I do. I'm dealing damage here, and I can kick the Lose Focus off my treasure, which does outpace the treasure I gave them. If they don't do anything this turn, I'll Occult Epiphany away these bad cards. If they do something, I'll counter it. Something I need to worry about, specifically, not if they literally do anything. Though that is how some people play Magic. Just, if I have a spell in my hand and the mana to cast it, boy, is it getting cast. And that's not how you actually play Magic well. Hate to break it to you. The Bone Zone. Okay, this one does Crabominate. Therefore, I'm not interested in it happening. Lose Focus with Replicate. They could still reanimate or animate dead here if they have a double layer of reanimation. I just gotta live with that. But what I can't live with is them Crabominating my Blightsteel. Shadow Spear. The race is on. I actually am a little worried about that. Scrapwork Mutt getting in. How much mana do I want them to have access to? First time I've actually stopped to consider Plunderer. Alright, I will continue to do it for now, because I would like to have an Occult Epiphany in the near future. Alright, attack, plunder you. You take 6 from this. That's pretty good. I can Epiphany in combat and make at least 3 dopes. Shallow Grave returns Emperor of Bones, which will then also get back Crabomination. Okay, I mean, can't stop that. I just have to decide when I'm going to use my Occult Epiphany. Crabomination exiles a card from my hand, graveyard, and top of my library at random. Oh my god, they forgot to exile. They forgot to exile! They didn't move to combat, they just did this. Well, that's a dastardly misclick, but it's an unforced error. I didn't do anything here. Okay, well, I'm not getting Crabominated. That's good news. Okay, I will have my Epiphany in combat. I'll leave my treasure around. Looting 3 feels like enough. I got things to spend that treasure on. Lightsteel, land are going to be my discards. Gut and Fury, just bonkers here. Okay, 3 of these. And I would like to trade with Scrapwork Mutt. And this gets exiled in the end of turn anyway. I can take 4 from that. And they're very dead if they don't have something extremely powerful, like Swords to Plowshares or Fatal Push to deal with Gut. Lobster Boots is not it. This almost looks like an Urza Saga deck with the number of weirdo one-drop equipments they have. It's possible that's just there for value. Maybe they're a Stoneforge deck, maybe they're a Saga deck. But it's weird to just have these things laying around in Naya Reanimator. Okay, bang. I probably had lethal if I let them keep their Scrapwork Mutt. But fast and loose, you know my motto. Ponder. Chromatic Star, Chrome Mox. I'll shuffle this. Those are not useful cards. And Gut True Soul Zealot. This will throw a treasure at my opponent, and they will be extremely deceased. There we go. Okay. Reanimator. My great nemesis. Every time I go 2-1 and lose in the finals of a cube draft, it feels like it's against Reanimator. I do have some powerful combo stuff of my own. I have exactly 1 counterspell. Brazen Borrower could play. I don't think anything in my sideboard helps in this matchup particularly. I mean, Turnabout, I could, if I want to get super creative, like tap their board after they use Shallow Grave or the Bone Zone. Like, Turnabout is actually really effective versus Shallow Grave effects. Pyrokinesis could kill the Emperor before it gets into combat. I don't think that's how I want to play. Bonehorde Dracosaur might be too slow for the matchup. That could get lower into something like Elspeth, or Turnabout can also function as like kind of Time Walk. In my opponent's upkeep, I could tap all their lands. I don't think I need to get that desperate. Whatever, Bonehorde Dracosaur's in, everything's in, we're gaming. I'm a big fan of trying to pick up random graveyard hate, even like a Agatha Soul Cauldron in a deck that's otherwise not using it is fine. Okay, here's a balance, a turn 1 balance off of Mox Pearl. If I decide that's worth doing, it's probably not going to be worth doing, but it's something I can decide. Okay, I'm going to go Island Pearl. This can Brazen Borrow if I need to. This is only white mana right now until I get a mountain. Scrapwork Mutt. Dumping Crabomination. We've seen this before. Where have I seen this before? Another island. I think I actually just want to play the island and pass. Crabomination obviously gets value immediately on arrival, but if they play the Bone Zone this turn, they don't have 4 mana to immediately Crabominate. Almost every card in my hand is good, though. If they Crabomination, it gets a random card out of my hand. Balance and Verge are the 2 that wouldn't be good for them. This Chainsaw's kind of mid. 50-50. Good hits, bad hits. Shallow Grave. All right. It's in here. I am not going to bounce it. It'll die at the end of turn anyway. Okay, they took my Shorakai as well as Ancestral Recall. God damn it. Well, Ancestral would have been a good one. But if they Ancestral, I mean, Shorakai's not in play. If they Shorakai, I'll bounce it. And Ancestral puts them in a spot where balance, now they have more cards in hand than me. And this is mostly Cope, but it's all also true. Okay, Crabomination. I take 7 here. Crabomination exiles at the end of turn. The Mutt will die to the balance anyway, and then they'll also discard a bunch of cards and sack a land. Yeah, I think balancing here is fine. I mean, them being a Reanimator deck, balance is a little scary. But just doing it now where it's all upside for me is good. It's a land, 2 cards from their hand, and their creature dead. I could have pitched Chainsaw to Fury if I wanted to get 2 more cards out of their hand, but they would still have enough to make a game plan out of. I don't think that's very interesting. Cycling Troll in response, so they can replace the land at least. And that Jeskai was my plan, and that Ancestral, I didn't know it was there, but obviously would have been great. That was one of the best Grabominations there ever could be. I was so ready to just like them take my Fury or Jeskai, and I just bounce it with Brazen Borrower and it's mine again. Archon of Cruelty and Night's Whisper discarded. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Getting Knights or Archon in the graveyard, scary as hell. Okay, pass the turn. If they have the Bone Zone, that's covered. If they have Animate Dead, I can buy a little bit of time, but not permanently. If they have Reanimate, I am a little bit in trouble. Demonic Tutor. All right, Demonic Tutor could get Reanimate if they play that. And I can bounce the Archon regardless. If I find red, I could Breach Balance. My opponent's deck is pretty good, though. The multiple tutors, multiple, lots of dig, multicolor Reanimator, multiple hits, Grabomination and Archon at least. Lava Spur Boots. All right, that's the plan. A mountain. All right, I am not going to do anything with that, but it is in play. I can cast Fury now, because that mountain also turns on Sunbillow Verge. I went from 0 red to 2 red. Grief. Oh no, that's so bad. Grief pitching Lethal Scheme. All right, I'm probably losing my Brazen Borrower here. And Escape is already an alternate cost. Can you escape a... I actually don't know if you can escape an adventure. I feel like no, but also maybe yes. I know that's super useful. Okay, so if they have the Bone Zone, they can hit me for 12 right now. And then I Breach Balance. And if they get Archon in play anyway here, or if they get Archon in play with a mana to spare, I'm actually just dead right now. Yep, Brazen Borrower gone. No surprise there. What is the reanimation tool of choice? Exhume. All right, well, that one beats me. Yeah, they obviously had something because they could have just cast that Grief and they didn't. Okay, Grief, Demonic Tutor. This is getting scary. No graveyard hate of any kind. No useful cards of any kind. Okay, so their turn 3 Goldfish hit my best card and took the best card out of my hand at the same time. That's what happened that game. Now I'm on the play. Let's turn it back around. Oh no, can't keep this. Mulligan. This I can keep. I'm going to bottom Seachrome Coast, or I guess Island is the same as Seachrome Coast, but worse. Yeah, I'll bottom Island, play Chromatic Star. Opponent kept 7, must be nice. Seachrome Coast, Chromatic Star, shipping it. They've got a Marsh Flats, Tundra, Talisman. Oh, Gut, I don't have anybody ready to attack, so Gut will take a turn to activate, which might be a turn too long versus this deck. Tinker, probably really good. They fetched Underground Sea, then didn't cast a spell on the end step. Commercial District. Please don't entomb something good for free. They kept a card on top. It's better than a free entomb. Mox Pearl. The Boots. Alright, deck, something good. I could cast Fury here. Could also cycle Chromatic Star, see what I hit. Yeah, I think I'm going to sack Star for red and just see what comes up. I can still play Gut this turn, I'll still have material to sack next turn. Okay. Okay. Here's Gut. I'm going to leave Mox Pearl in my hand just as Grabomination or Archon padding with something extra that could be discarded or taken at random. 4 mana, only one of it's black. That matters for like Entomb Reanimate or Emperor of Bones Activate or even just casting Grief. Bone Shards, dumping Grabomination. Yeah, that works. Come on, deck, something good. Ancestral Recall, Tinker. Alright, I'm not mad about Brazen Borrower. Okay, I'm going to play Sacred Foundry tapped and pass the turn. Grabomination also only costs 6. They're not even far away from casting that. And it has Emerged from Artifact, which could make it cheaper if you sack Lava Spur Boots to it. I guess that's the same, because the Emerge cost is more than the mana cost. They would need a 2-mana artifact for that to start making sense. Faithless Looting, powerful stuff. Bowmaster in my sideboard. Kolagon's Command and Swamp discarded. That's at least one real card, which means their hand is all spells. But it also means their hand is not reanimation targets. Rafine, Scheming Seer. That dies to Fury, even through the ward. I guess I'll have to bounce Lava Spur Boots, though, before that's true. So this will connive 1. That would make it too big. So I actually do have to bounce the boots. And punish for not playing out Mox Pearl. I could have Brazen Borrower in play right now. Ponder. I don't think I have room for that. I'm just going to Fury this thing. 4 damage to Rafine. Ward 1. I would like to pay. Okay, now I'm on board. Their hand is Lava Spur Boots, 2 unknowns. Demonic Tutor. Okay, so they could Shallow Grave here, or in Exhume I get Gut back and they steal my Ponder and Chromatic Star with Crab Bomb. Shallow Grave hits Rafine, not Crabomination here. They could have some other engine we don't know about yet. Necromancy. Okay, so they get to keep the Crabomination here. All right, so they got Gut and the card from my hand and Mountain off the top of my deck. So I'm in top deck mode. Gut's pretty good. Wow, snuff out last card in hand. That fucking sucks. Ancestral Recall. Jeskai. All right, Jeskai not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it requires blue mana. All right, Magic Online. I'm listening. I hear you. This is a lot of damage next turn. I'm gonna Jeskai now because Ancestral Recall's in my deck. All right, I'll discard this island. Mightstone and Weakstone can kill Crabomination. Running out of time, though. Man, Snuff Out. What a heater. Free spells are so good. Shieldred, son of a biscuit. Well, I have to kill that one now. My Jeskai is not going to work with that around. Yeah, I can just chump block Crabomination. That seems like the right way to do that. They'll probably throw Mox Pearl at me with Gut into a Spooky Skeleton. 6 damage in combat. They are out of cards over there. If I can get this stable, there's a chance. But getting this stable will not be easy. Oh, they sacked the boots. I like that. I was pretty worried about those boots, actually, because we're just in a damage race at this point. Okay, drew a mountain. I'm going to kill Shieldred, then activate Jeskai. Should I play out the mountain? Does that matter? I will not play out the mountain. 2, 3, 4, 5. Mightstone and Weakstone. -5/-5 on Shieldred. Activate Jeskai. Oh no, the Mana Flood! I cannot play Brazen Borrower with that. And this is 8, 9, 10 damage coming my way. I'm at 2. So let's pretend they drew a brick for a turn. Oh god, stop casting mana. Alright, Faithless Looting. You're allowed to do that. Let's pretend their hand doesn't work. And I go to my turn and it's 2. I have Jeskai plus Draw Step, sees 3 cards. Ancestral Recall's in my deck somewhere, Balance is in my deck somewhere. Alright, so I need to fade literally anything here, including a removal spell, and then rip to some of my heaters. Discarded Scrapwork Mutt and Archon of Cruelty. And they stacked it carefully, so they have Shallow Grave in their hand. Magic Online only prompts you to do that if it matters. At least I think that's true. I saw them arranging their things carefully. All right, well, it didn't happen. Okay, the Mox Pearl gets sacrificed here. I take 10. They could also actually have Shallow Grave and be saving it in case I rip my Balance. Like, they can kill me at any point with the Helix off of Archon. Oh, cool. It's a land. Good job, me. Okay. We need Balance. Lingus! Oh my god. Hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I can only put them to 3. This is a lot of blockers, though. None of their stuff tramples. Activating Jeskai. I can do that with Mightstone. That doesn't change how much mana I have access to. Plunderer. Lose focus Lingus. So Lingus is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horses. Block, 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 block. That is exactly not dead. And I think I will need the lose focus somewhere down the road. All right, Generous Plunderer into the graveyard. Oh, right, I get this guy too. So I could take the Monarch here. All right, Sunbillow Verge. Let's go. All right, 6 horses. I can attack them with one of them, leaving back exactly 6 blockers, which is what I need to be alive. if they draw any creature I lose, like any creature or artifact, gut just turns it into damage immediately. I need them to basically rip a land or a spell that doesn't help. If I leave back a horse, I don't die to a removal spell. I die to a creature or artifact anyway. All right, I gotta hope they draw a land. So just double checking this. Jump, trade, double block, double block. Yeah, one horse goes through. All right, I am the Menarche. Occult Epiphany. Please draw a land. Please draw a land. They drew for turn. There's a weird pause. Oh, come on. Metamorphosis Fanatic on top of your deck. Whatever. All right, GG's. As usual, sick deck defeated by Reanimator in the finals. I do think Reanimator is the dumbest thing you can do in the cube. I think it's appropriate for Vintage Cube. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, don't put Reanimator in the cube, but a good Reanimator deck feels like the cheesiest, most powerful thing you can do. But okay, a powerful, is it mid-range Jeskai control Tinker deck? Only lost to Crabomination, stealing my own cards. It was the Gut and the Ancestral Recall that killed me. So really, I only lost to myself, and my opponent wasn't even there. This was fun. Love Vintage Cube. This is actually going to be the last one for this run of the cube. I will revisit it again whenever they update it next. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to, if you like cube content, share it around to people, interact with the post, like it, comment on it. This stuff matters. Tell YouTube you like this because it doesn't believe you. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Adios.